The priest processes to the altar preceded by the server. If he should pass a tabernacle where the Blessed Sacrament is reserved, both priest and server turn and genuflect to the Blessed Sacrament. Since the priest is carrying the chalice, he does not uncover his head while genuflecting. When the priest arrives at the foot of the altar where he is to say Mass, he uncovers and gives the biretta to the server, who stands on his right. Both then reverence the altar. If the Blessed Sacrament is reserved in a tabernacle on or immediately behind the altar, the priest genuflects on the floor. If the Blessed Sacrament is not present, the priest makes a profound bow. The server, however, always genuflects. The priest then ascends the altar. The server assists by lifting the hem of his alb and cassock. When the priest arrives at the altar, he places the chalice towards the gospel side, turning it so that the veiled side faces towards him. He takes the burse with both hands, and then removes the corporal with his right hand and places it on the center of the altar in front of him. He then takes the burse with the right hand and sets the burse on the gospel side. The priest then unfolds the corporal with both hands. He arranges the corporal so that the near edge of the corporal is about an inch from the edge of the altar. He then takes the chalice with the left hand and sets it on the center of the corporal, but far enough back to leave him room to kiss the altar later. He then folds his hands before the breast, turns, and goes to the missal. At the missal, he opens the book with both hands and checks the ribbons to make sure they are set correctly for the Mass. He leaves the missal open to the page containing the introit, joins his hands, and goes to the center of the altar. He makes a low head bow to the altar cross, and then turns by his right to descend. As he turns, he steps a little to his left, so as not to turn his back completely to the altar. When he arrives at the foot of the altar, he again reverences the altar. If the Blessed Sacrament is present, he genuflects, although this genuflection will not be on the floor, but against the first step. If the Blessed Sacrament is not present, he bows profoundly. The priest and server then begin the prayers at the foot of the altar.